Bathweso madume tseno ke dikgang tsa loleme la Setswana tseo di tlisediwang ke Keotshepile Mokate mo Platinum Northwest TV tla re lebelele tseo di itlhomileng kwa setlhoeng. Lepodisi la kwa Botswana le tlhagelletse kwa kgotlhatshekelo ka ntlha ya bonweenwee. Mo go tse dingwe, kgetse ya polao, teko ya polao, tshenyo ya dithoto ka maikaelelo ga mmogo le go fisa e buseditswe morago. Tla re simolole ka tsa mono porofenseng. Mompoloki o kotšha boitshoko wa dingwaga di le 42 o tlhagelletse kwa kgotlhatshekelo ya magistrata ya Mmabatho mo letsatsing la maabane ka ditatofatso tsa bonweenwee. Boitshoko o ne a tshwarwa ke maloko a setlhopha sa Mahikeng sa Hawks Serious Corruption Investigation ga mmogo le setlhopha sa sepodisi seo se batlisisang ditlolomolao tse di rulagantsweng ka mosupologo mo bekeng eno kwa Mahikeng. Dipego di supa fa batlhankela ba SARS Syndicated Tax le lephata le le lwantshang bosenyi ba ne ba amogela tshedimosetso fa Ngwanatsele a na tlhola malatsi a le 15 ya gore serori se tla tsena kwa molelwaneng wa Skill Pad Shack go tswa kwa Namibia se tshotse disekerete tse di seng ka fa molaong. Serori seno se ne sa fitlha kwa molelwaneng mme mokgweetsi wa sone o ne a bolelela badiredi ba puso gore o ne a sena dithoto dipe tse a ka dipegang. Sebueledi sa Hawks sa Northwest, Dinyiko Mathebula, o tlhalosa go ya pele.
Mopoloki o kotšha boitshoko, age 42, appeared in the Mmabatho Magistrate Court on Tuesday, the 26th November 2024, for alleged corruption. Boitshoko was arrested by members of the Mahikeng-based Hawks Serious Corruption Investigation and Serious Organized Crime Investigation on Monday, the 25th of November 2024 in Mahikeng. Reports indicate that officials from the SARS Syndicated Tax and Customs Crime Division received information on the 15th of November 2024 that a truck will be entering the Skilpadshek border post from Namibia with illicit cigarettes. The truck arrived at the border post and the driver indicated to the officials that he had no cargo to declare. Upon inspection, the officials allegedly found 288 master cases containing Remington Gold Blue cigarettes packed inside a trailer. The cigarettes, with an estimated value of over 1 million rand, were found to be illicit. Consequently, the driver was apprehended for contravention of the Customs and Excise Act 91 of 1964. The truck, cigarettes and trailers were seized. On the 20th November 2024, a SARS official was reportedly contacted by an unknown man who offered to pay 100,000 rand for the release of the truck. An entrapment was set which resulted in the arrest of a Botswana national after he had paid 104,000 rand to the SARS official. The accused appeared in court and he was remanded in custody. His matter was postponed to the 3rd of December 2024 for formal bail application. Brigadier Silas Munjetsi, the acting Northwest Hawks head, has welcomed the arrest and the subsequent court appearance of the accused. He has commended collaboration between DPCI and SARS in ensuring that the accused faces the full might of the law.
Ga re tswela pele ka tsa porofense, kgetse ya polao, teko ya polao, go thopa ka dikgoka, tshenyo ya dithoto ka maikaelelo le go fisa, kgatlhanong le baletofadiwa ba le 9 ba kwa motseng wa Modutung gaufi le Taung, e buseditswe morago go fitlha fa Sedimonthole a tla ba tlhola malatsi a le 2 ke kgotlhatshekelo ya magistrata ya Taung. Baletofadiwa ba le 3 ba lebane le ditatofatso tsa go thopa batho ka dikgoka, teko ya polao le tshenyo ya dithoto ka maikaelelo, mme ba le 3 ba ne ba latofadiwa ka teko ya polao, go bolaya le go fisa. Sebueledi sa sepodisi mo Northwest, Brigadier Sabata Mokgwabone, o kaile fa setlhopha se kopane go batlisisa ditiro tsa bosenyi tse di neng tsa ama motse wa Modutung kwa Taung fa Diphalane a na tlhola malatsi a le 20. Re diwetsa fa tsa porofense mme re tswela pele ka tsa bosetšhaba. Moruni kakaretso Tsekani Maluleke o kaile Tsamaiso ya puso ya rataro e tlhagisitse dipholo tse di siameng tsa tshekatsheko tse di tokafaditsweng mo dipuong tsotlhe tsa bosetšhaba le tsa diporofense fela ditheo tse di nang le seabe se segolo tse di neng di tlamela ka ditirelo tse di botlhokwa di bone tiragatso e bokoa le tokafatso e bonya. Maluleke o ne a tlhagisa pegelo kakaretso ya 2023 to 2024 ya mafapha a bosetšhaba le a diporofense fa pele ga komiti ya palamente mo diakhaontong tsa setšhaba ka labobedi ko a neng a bua fa puso e bontshitse tokafalo mo go kgoneng go bega ka tsela e bonalang ka ga matlole a yone le tiragatso mo dingwageng tse 5 tse di fetileng. Maluleke o buile gape ka ditheo tse di sa neeleng dipego tsa tsone tsa matlole.
There are far too many entities that get away with not submitting their financial statements year after year. Yes, the SAA group has had its own difficulties and been through business rescue, so they're only catching up with the submission of their financial statements now. But and then you'll know that the Denel group has had its own difficulties as well. There are a few I want to highlight. The Northwest Transport Investment Group is a group that has not submitted financial statements for the last 5 years. And so that needs the constant attention, the decisive action by those in oversight. We've also got in this group the Post Office and the National Student Financial Aid Scheme, which has been struggling to submit financial statements on time for a number of years now. They've subsequently, in the last few months, submitted the financial statements, and now we are completing their audits. I flag these because when we put that number of outstanding, it's easy to gloss over it, but the fact that audits are outstanding does point to significant weaknesses from an accountability point of view. The ones on the right-hand side of the slide are those where the submission of financial statements tends to be late. And it's fine. Once in a while, you can have a new entity, such as the Border Management Authority, submitting financial statements late because they are in transition. That you can understand. But if you have entities, especially such as PMTE, that don't submit financial statements on time, one's got to ask some serious questions about that. I want to draw your attention, Honourable Chairs, to the Unemployment Insurance Fund, which has for many years now not submitted financials on time. And so it misses the accountability processes within Parliament. UIF, for the last 5 years, has not submitted financial statements on time, and they have a qualified audit opinion. And if you think about the significance of the amount of money that flows through the fund and the significance of the role they ought to play in our socio-economic framework, it is crucial that oversight be seized with this matter of UIF escaping oversight and accountability. For a full account of all of the audits that are outstanding and those that are delayed and those that don't submit, we do have a section in our report that deals with.
Tsekani Maluleke o ne gatelela ntlha ya dipholo tsa ditlhatlhobo tse di nang le seabe se segolo.
We have stripped out the auditees that are significant in terms of the budget that they manage, but also significant in terms of their service delivery imperative. So we highlighted a number of departments and entities, including state-owned entities, that are responsible for the delivery of healthcare services, education, skills development and employment, human settlements, infrastructure, transport, safety and security, water and sanitation, energy, environmental sustainability, as well as financial sustainability. Together, these high-impact auditees account for 77% of the 2 trillion rand expenditure budget. So these are the big ticket items from a service delivery point of view, but also in terms of the budget that they look after. A cursory glance on the 2 bars at the top of the page will show you that indeed, the high-impact auditees lag behind the improvement trend that we've seen. So if we're wanting to drive impact in terms of improved transparency, accountability, performance across government, we've got to worry about these big impact, high-impact auditees. The ones that are have got clean audits, and you do have a few. Tell us indeed and show us indeed that it is possible, even amongst the more complex and larger departments, to attain clean audits. The majority of the high-impact auditees sit in the unqualified space, and I've already articulated why this space is undesirable. A large number of them, especially the provincial departments of health and education, sit in the qualified space. And the honourable chairs will see that there are a few that are disclaimed or adverse. There are, the one adverse for this year of the high-impact auditees is the Road Accident Fund. And I'd like to also point out the disclaimers of audit opinion being the Compensation Fund as well as CITA. Both of these have got disclaimers of audit opinion, and both of these are important institutions in terms of delivering a capable and performing government. The Compensation Fund, for the last 12 years, has had a disclaimer of audit opinion. Every single year, it manages a significant budget made up of contributions from employers. This past year, 11 billion rand went through the Compensation Fund. And the question has got to be, what will it take to get the Compensation Fund properly attended to in terms of moving it out of this space where accountability, transparency, and oversight and good governance are clearly being ignored? Fortunately, we can report that the high-impact auditees are improving. However, they are lagging behind the trend. The next two slides, I won't spend too much time on, honourable chairs. Safe to say that the quality of financials that are being submitted to us still needs attention. So although audit outcomes have improved, there are far too many instances where we can see that financial management practices are not yet sound. And the good thing is that the improvements tell us of what's possible. The benefit of having had a stable financial reporting framework that has not changed for too long, the benefit of having had stable finance management units in those institutions, as well as the benefit of having internal audit and audit committees actually fulfilling their duties, we're seeing an improvement. What we need to do is get more and more of that happening across the board. The next slide sets out the outcomes in terms of the service delivery reporting. We've seen some improvement in service delivery reporting for PFMA over the last 5 years, and much of the credit goes to the role played by the DPME as well as the offices of the Premier. And also some credit goes to the leaders of different sectors, particularly in health as well as education and human settlements, where there's been attention to ensuring that there is a journey of improving the indicators, the performance indicators, and clarifying the targets that should form part of the annual performance plans and annual performance reports of the different departments. There is still much more to be done. And especially if we look at where we are now, where the 7th administration is thinking carefully about their 5-year plan, it's going to be crucial that we don't wait too long to get the key practices that make for good performance management properly instilled. We've seen an improvement over the course of the 6th administration. We are highlighting the urgency with which these disciplines ought to be instilled as the 7th administration begins its tenure. Things like excluding key performance indicators from the annual performance report. Those disciplines have got to be attended to. Things like over-relying on manual systems. Things like not investing in the skills and disciplines that make for proper planning, monitoring, evaluation, and reporting on performance. Those have got to be attended to. The tendency of people to want to deal with performance off the books, away from the public-facing annual performance report, that has got to be dealt with. The reason we say this is that far too many accounting officers, instead of investing in correcting their problems around skills or information systems or just basic management disciplines, they choose to rather take indicators out of their performance report. And of course, that compromises transparency, and it does weaken the ability of yourselves as oversight to see how budgets are being spent, to see how the things you've agreed to as the strat plans, in the strat plans, are being actually implemented. It does also compromise the ability of oversight to report to citizens on how their needs are being met.
Dikgutlafa tsa bosetšhaba mme re tswelela pele ka tsa boditšhabatšhaba. Gompieno baagi ba naga ya Namibia ba tsaya karolo mo ditlhophong tse di neng di letetswe thata tse di ka dirang gore lekoko le le busang la SWAPO le latlhegelwe ke taolo morago ga dingwaga di le 34. Lekoko leno le le busitseng Namibia fa e sale e ikemela ka nosi go tswa mo Aforika Borwa ka motsi wa puso ya tlhaolele ka ngwaga wa 1990 le lebanwe ke kgwetlho e kgolo go tswa mo baimanokeng ba kganetso. Kwa pele ga letsholo la mokgatlho wa SWAPO ke motlatsamoporesidente Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah yo a leng mo kgaisanong ya go nna mosadi wa ntlha go nna moporesidente wa Namibia. Re di wetsa fa tsa boditšhabatšhaba mme re tsena mo go tsa kgwebo. Dithekiso ka la botlhano yono di solofetse go dira gore barekisi ba nne mo maemong a nonofileng a matlole. Mo letsatsing leno badirisi ba tla fiwa thuso ya madi mme seo ga se reye gore mongwe le mongwe o na le madi a sa lekanyediwang a ka dirisang. Black Friday ke nako e ka yone go ntshiwang dilwana tse di rekisiwang tsa kgale gore go nne le tse dintshwa tse di ka rekwang mo ngwageng o tlang. Dikakantsho tse di latelang ke tse di ka thusang go thibela malwetse a bakwang ke dijo jaaka tlhalositswe mo nageng le gore dijo di senyega ka letlha lefe. Tla re lebelele molaetsa yo tswang kwa botsamaising jwa matlhotlhapelo mo kgaolong ya Dr. Kenneth Kaunda.
We're all excited about Black Friday. However, the Department of Health warns us to check for expiry dates on food items. Consumers are urged to be wary of purchasing fake goods this Black Friday. People should not buy nor consume highly perishable products with damaged packaging or lapsed expiry dates, even if it smells and looks good. Food consumers are reminded to be on the lookout and report any suspicious goods sold by the outlets and retailers to the environmental health practitioners or food inspectors at their nearest municipal offices or Consumer Goods Council of South Africa. In a statement issued by the Department of Health, buyers are warned to exercise extra caution, especially when buying food products. The department spokesperson Foster Mohale said while Black Friday deals provide consumers with discounts and savings on a variety of goods, it is important for consumers to guard against purchasing counterfeit and expired foodstuff by thoroughly checking food labeling and expiring date on food items to prevent ongoing sporadic cases of life-threatening food poisoning. Platinumnorthwesttvnews reported extensively on operations to eradicate the sale of expired goods in shops across the country. Let's hear from Director of Community Safety in Dr. Kenneth Kaunda District, Colin Mofokeng.
Good morning, colleagues. My name is Colin Mofokeng from Dr. Kenneth Kaunda District Municipality, the Acting Director for Community Services. We have started our multi-stakeholder operation in terms of conducting inspections in various shops in the entire Dr. Kenneth Kaunda District Municipality. We were joined by the MMC from Community Services, Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, MMC Wendy Mokate. We are also with MMC Khoza of Public Safety from Matlosana, along with MMC Mahlope from Matlosana. Basically, we're busy checking the issues of compliance in various shops. Yesterday in Alabama, we find out a number of shops, they've been selling expired food, and we know that in terms of the scope of municipal health, such poses a very serious danger in terms of our community our communities, because of they are the ones that actually buy this expired food from our tuck shops. That's why, as Dr. Kenneth Kaunda and different stakeholders, we want to make sure that whatever that is being sold in the different shops is in compliant, and we are also accompanied by different stakeholders such as SAPS, We also have Home Affairs, Immigration Officers, and the Consumer Affairs. This operation is going to continue until on Saturday. On Saturday, we'll be expecting our Premier to can join us to can ensure that there's proper enforcement in terms of food safety in the entire Dr. Kenneth Kaunda District Municipality. As we were conducting our inspections, we have managed to discover that there are some tuck shops that have been operating without proper licenses, and in such circumstances it is our responsibility to can ensure that we close such tuck shops. And in the instances whereby we find that there's food that has passed that date of sell by or the expired food, we have been seizing such things, and we have been encouraging our shops to can condemn and not to sell expired food to our communities. Through the assistance of SAPS and Home Affairs, we have managed to can effect some arrest in terms of, as we check the issues of the legality of some of the shop operators. So basically yesterday you have done about 3 arrests or so, and this operation is going to continue. Where we find that we've got illegal immigrants in our district municipality, we are not going to hesitate. The mighty law of the country is going to be applied, and such arrests are going to be effected, and such people are going to be taken to their respective countries of origin. Thank you very much.
Dikgotlafatsa kgwebo a re tswelele pele ka tsa metshameko. Ditlhopha tse pedi tse dikgolo kwa Europe di tla kopana ka bosigo jwa Laboraro fa Liverpool le Real Madrid di tla bo di lebagane mo motshamekong wa bone wa botlhano mo Champions League go fitlha ga jana mo setlheng seno. The Reds ke setlhopha se le sengwe se se kabong se fentse motshameko mongwe le mongwe mo kgaisanong e sa tswang go fetolwa. Motshameki yo mogolo wa Brazil, Vinicius Junior, o tla ba se mo setlhopheng sa Real Madrid, mme go solofetse gore o tla latlhegelwa ke karolo e setseng ya 2024. Ga re tswela pele ka tsa metshameko, Mohau Nkota o na tsenya motshameko wa gagwe wa ntlha go thusa Orlando Pirates go simolola ka phenyo mo legatong la ditlhopha tsa Caf Champions League ka go fenya CR Belouizdad ya Algeria ka 2-1. Nkota o na bona kgoro ya motshameko morago ga metsotso e le 5, mme morago mo a itaya ka tsela e kgatlisang mo metsotsong e le 27 go dira gore Buccaneers e etelele pele ka 2-0. Ditshemega tsa Aforika Borwa di tsenetse kgaisano eno ka ntlha ya go batla ya fa ba batla go ipakanya morago go fengwa ke Magesi ka 2-1 kwa Calling Knockout Cup ka Lamatlhatso. Manqoba Nqithi o buile seno ka kopano ya morago ga metshameko.
I think we gave a very good account of ourselves. It was not easy from making the lineup, the tactics, and everything else in trying to prepare for this game, because one, we did not have time. Two, most of our players were loaded physically. We felt we might end up having injuries. So it's a win for us that we did not get injuries, because that means we still have our full squad. Otherwise, we had a lot of players that could not take part in this match because they had some niggling issues, some with quad, some with hamstrings, some with groins, and we had to try and juggle around and start a team that we felt was mobile enough to cause problems to this team. And I think we controlled the game very well. I think we got ourselves into good positions. Unfortunately, not to score goals, because in the Champions League, in home matches, you expect to try and win your home matches. But be that as it may, I think many people are not aware. We played against a very good team. Unfortunately, they could not show how good they are, because they relied more on transitions in this game, and I think we controlled the ball very well. We did not lose too many balls. There were a few scary moments, and those scary moments were when we lost possession of the ball, when we got disparate, sometimes play balls in the air against those big players, and immediately from there it's a transition, and in transition with Mboma, number 20, with number 7, Pasiala, and Kitambala, always threatening your last line. I think we made the game to favor us by controlling almost all football actions. The only thing that we did not do in the game today, in my opinion, I think is to score goals. Because had we scored goals, we would be very happy, because I think it's one of those games where you have given opponents almost nothing. And I must reiterate that this is a very good team. We've watched a lot of their matches, and both locally and in the Champions League, we watched the Petro games, and Petro, even now, they don't know what happened to them. And I can tell you, in this group, this team is going to be a very big problem for everybody else. But I'm very confident we will do very well against them.
Tlajanong re diwetse ka tseo di itlhomileng kwa setlhoeng. Lepodisi la kwa Botswana le tlhagelletse kwa kgotlhatshekelo ka ntlha ya bonweenwee. Mo go tse dingwe, Kgetse ya polao, teko ya polao, tshenyo ya dithoto ka maikaelelo, ga mmogo le go fisa e buseditswe morago. Re diwetsa fa mogaetsho go fitlhela re kopana gape mo nakong e tlang. Ke Keotshepile Mokate, mo Thweso, sala sentle.